Thank you for listening today to Community Spotlight. My guest today is Sheila Weber. She's the Executive Director of National Marriage Week USA. And we're going to talk today, of course, about marriage in general, what we can do this week to celebrate, and find out some more of her background. Sheila, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, how did you get interested in the topic of marriage, and what's a little bit of your personal background?
Well, my husband and I do help a lot of marriages, so I've been married for 30 years myself, and I'm watching what's happening around me to people I know and love and what's happening in the culture, and discovered that there's an International Marriage Week movement that's been happening for more than a decade in 12 countries, the UK, Germany, Czech Republic, and Australia. And so last year we launched National Marriage Week USA, and we have made great progress because this is our second year, and we have hundreds and hundreds of classes, events, and conferences that have posted all around the country, especially for this week, to help people leading up to Valentine's Day. But we have a clearinghouse of all kinds of resources for people all year long. And we want to get the word out that marriage is valuable and that it's really beneficial, because there's been some recent media coverage asking if marriage is obsolete. And our answer to that question is absolutely not. What is obsolete about the fact that marriage brings people greater financial stability, more personal wealth, better health, you live longer lives, and research has proven all these things, that especially for children, research overwhelmingly shows that kids who've been raised with both the mother and the father perform vastly better in school, have far less trouble with the law, less teen pregnancy, and fewer issues with addiction. So marriage pays, and we want people to understand how beneficial it is, and also find help to work on their own marriages, or maybe reach out to help family members or friends that you think could use some assistance.
What kind of trends are you seeing currently across the USA as far as marriage goes?
Well, it's interesting because just yesterday, the National Marriage Project at UVA released a report for this week, for National Marriage Week, and it's called The Great Recession and Marriage. And one of the interesting facts is that of the couples they interviewed who were headed toward divorce or separation, 38% of them said that the recession has caused them to change their plans. So it kind of means that a bad economy is making people stay more committed, which in some ways is a reflection of what used to happen years ago. People saw marriage as an economic unit, and they needed to pull together to keep life and limb together, and in some ways it made them, have to work it out. And the reason we need to be concerned is because it's costing the U.S. taxpayer at least $112 billion a year for divorce and unwed childbearing. It's very expensive to be having a 50% divorce rate, which estimates are that it costs $20,000 to $30,000 per divorce for government cost. But even more alarming is that 40% of all American babies today are born out of wedlock. Not many people realize that it's that high. 40% of all our children are born outside of marriage. This bears a high cost. Single motherhood impoverishes women, and our prisons are overflowing, and largely the vast proportion, a percentage, is fatherless children who are in the prisons. And we have all kinds of social science research that shows that marriage is incredibly important for the raising of children.
What are some components of a strong marriage?
Well, it's obviously we've got all kinds of marriage educators who have tips, and we've got all kinds of stuff on our website about that. But I think one of the things that we would say is that, some things you can do would be to make sure that you communicate. And we make light of that. That's such a commonly thrown out term, but learning how to communicate. And then there's the issue of love and respect, and how do you treat each other with love and respect. We take these things for granted, and I think people need to learn some of those skills. For some reason, they don't always come automatically. People need to have fun together. They need to play. And sometimes marriages get caught into, just a cycle of functionality and stress and managing the details of life. And you have to remember that you need to have fun together. And we have all kinds of ideas and ways to do that on our website. Plus, there are some magnificent groups out there who, provide Friday night and Saturday conferences that really can help turn people's thinking around and help them learn new habits to overcome some of the stresses that they live with.
And I wanted to mention the website, nationalmarriageweekusa.org. Is that correct?
That's right, National Marriage Week, put the USA on the end, .org. It's a place where we have lists and lists of wonderful local classes and events. You can plug in your state and find something near you. And we even encourage people to think ahead for how they might reach out and serve their community by bringing a big conference in, some that we have listed. You can bring a conference in and then post this event at our website so that other people can find out about it.
You also have home groups, is that right?
Well, we have resources for all kinds of wonderful curricula. So it's very easy, actually, to go to some of the groups we've listed and get their DVD and their workbook, and you can start a group in your home. You could offer something in your local library or community center and really reach out to people who don't have anywhere else to turn. It's meeting a felt need. It's meeting a real need to reach out and help people with their marriages.
Okay, I've been talking today with Sheila Weber, and Sheila is the Executive Director of National Marriage Week USA. Again, that website, nationalmarriageweekusa.org. And Sheila, we appreciate you being with us today and giving us some updates on marriage in general, how we all need to have a little improvement there, I'm sure, to work on our marriages.
Yes, and we just want people to realize that, we've got to turn the tide of public thinking, especially for the younger generation, that cohabitation is not going to take them where they want to go. And the research shows cohabitation does not lead to lifelong commitment, and more often than not, those, who enter into marriage have a higher risk of divorce. And there are things that you can do to get past the stresses in your marriage, and we want people to see marriage as a commitment that they can work to have it be an enjoyable relationship and not just kind of a disposable consumer relationship that they can toss aside or, go get another model when things get tough.
All right, Sheila, well, thank you so much for your work. We appreciate what you're doing. And let's give that website once again, nationalmarriageweekusa.org. Is there any other contact information you'd like to share?
Well, we'd love it if people would click like on Facebook. You'd have to say National Marriage Week USA on Facebook and click like, because when we have news and things happening, we'd like to let you know. We're going to be covered on some national TV shows this week, and if you click like, you'll get the news updates on that.
Wonderful. Well, we wish you the best. Thank you for all your work, and God bless you.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.